This is for becoming. Even in the fever, baby, cry and get to running. And tell her that you better get your bootstraps up. You're with the army. Ready when the truth act up, nothing can harm me. Yelling from the roof I touch, put up a guard and count to 10. Lions den, speaking with the higher pen. Can't be touched by fire, fast forward to the grown thing.
Hey Saints, welcome back to my vlog. Not really my vlog, but more so my channel. This is not a vlog. But I'm here with my friends. There's Heaven, Day, say Shahada. But we're out here. So, gonna do a quick little vlog, little video about church service today. So what we learned today in church, what was something that stuck out to y'all?
Don't text in church.
Not don't text in church.
That's it.
The biggest thing, I was finna say that too. The biggest thing was lengthen your stride.
But also, y'all want to know something else? But they, before we joined the church, I went back on YouTube and I was watching a series she did called Step Into the Stretch. And it was also like a similar message to this one. Similar to lengthen your stride. Step into the stretch. And also, we had one titled something about capacity. And I feel like all three of those go together. And it was just speaking to me. I was like,
that's good. Yeah, lengthening your stride, that was a good one. Okay, so the analogy that Pastor Derek gave was that if you're a runner, if you do like a long distance running, you are consistently staying the pace with everybody else. But the last stretch to get to the finish line, you got to push out farther and lengthen your stride so that way you can get to the finish line and win the victory, win the prize. So in life, they're basically saying that like you can't continuously run the same pace over and over. At some point, you got to stretch out and go do your thing, go win a prize. And the prize would be, you know, Jesus, everlasting life type of thing. That's my interpretation of the prize would be.
yeah.
And so that's something that stuck out to me too. Lengthening your stride.
Yeah, I would say like the prize is Jesus, but the prize is also the blessings that God has for us, because it's not in his desire for us to just be average. Yeah. And so if we go in the same pace in our stride, we're not changing. And God's desire for our journey is not to stay the same. So in order to attain the promises he has for us, which can be, you know, the finish line, the things that he has for us to reach, we got to do things differently. We can't do the same things in every race.
Yeah.
That's so good.
What stood out to me is like, what's the point of living life if you aren't going to win? And like we think as believers like, oh yeah, we're doing a thing, like I'm walking with God, I'm walking with God, and you can walk, and we say that all the time, like, oh, I'm walking with God. You can walk with God, but if you're not going anywhere and you're not experiencing new dimensions, then like what's the point? There's never, like, you'll never reach a destination. Like, you'll always go further and further and further. So it doesn't make sense to just be stagnant. And I also like how she talked about
That was good. Yeah, that was good right there.
I also like how she talked about like people who like grow up in a church. We think like, oh, I grew up in a church my whole life, like I'm doing this thing, I've never smoked, I never drank, I don't just go around just doing any kind of crazy stuff, so I'm good. But no, she actually challenged that and was basically like, we all could be growing, like we all can be doing more, instead of being like modern day Pharisees and Sadducees.
One thing though about that I did wish she would touch on is the people who grew up in church but still do go into things like that.
Yeah.
Because like she talked about it from her POV, but it's like there are people in this world who have been in church their whole life, but they still have fallen into sin.
Yeah.
They still smoke, drink, you know, go out and do crazy things. And so it's like, well, what do you really say to those people? Because it's like you're talking about your POV of you've been in church your whole life, never smoked, never drank. And it's like, well, that's great for you. Happy for you. But like, how would you relate that message to people who have? Because she kind of related to people who, you know, haven't.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think because what Pastor Derek was saying was like, he was speaking more to that, like, people who just go out and party and who do all of that. So he was speaking more, and she was like, well, we also have to say things for people who grew up in church and who like so and so. Oh, I don't do this, because him saying like, oh, you drink, you smoke, da 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 da. People who don't do it, like if you never did it before, you would think you're higher or you're holier than thou. You think like, you know, oh, I don't have no. But she's like, no,
That's not the truth either.
we all mess up.
Because we all fall short of the glory of God.
Do.
Because nobody is perfect. Nobody can be that almighty but God.
Yeah.
Seisha, you got anything to add? When Lily, I looked at her.
Oh, Seisha was at
Dang, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Another thing though, I remember she was like, some people are living but not experiencing life.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
right there.
That is
Some
good.
people are living but not experiencing life.
Ooh.
You might ask, how you living but not experiencing life? Go ahead and tell us, Dave.
Yes.
Wait, huh?
You said that one thing you remember was that she said some people are living but not experiencing life. Like, what's your take on that? Like, what you think it means?
Well, that goes back to lengthening your stride, because like we all living, right?
Yeah.
Are we experiencing life? Are we experiencing the fullness of life? So we could be living, we could be working a 9 to 5, doing this, doing that, going about your daily routine. But if you're not experiencing the life that God intended for you to have, then it's like, okay, I'm living, but I'm not experiencing. I'm not experiencing the life that He gave me.
Right.
I'm not experiencing the table that He set before me.
Yeah.
And I think with that point, I kind of remembered something from last week when she was talking about life is not hard. It's when you go against the rocks.
Yeah.
Because when Pastor Derek was explaining, like, your path, God's path is straight. But in our life, we start going left and right and up and down, and it's like, oh, now our life becomes harder because we're not following in the footsteps that God has ordained for us.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're just obedient and we follow in the plan that God has for us, our life would be so much easier. Right? We're not doing it. It's not about us anyways. It's about Him.
Yeah. And then another thing that stood out to me, Pastor Derek was like, don't let the devil punk you.
Right? Because the devil be like, bah!
Like, and literally, like, remember who you are and remind the devil of who you are and who he is.
Yeah. You gotta call that man out. That's something that stuck out to me too, because like I said, the devil been trying to get me lately. Like, he been trying to stab me in the back for real, which is his job. Like, he's supposed to try to stab us in the back.
Still killing the shit.
But it's like, I think about too, I don't know if I heard this today. Was this today? No, this was today. Was this today in church where he was talking about the devil? No, this wasn't today. But I heard this week where the devil in the Bible, the devil got to the strongest people in the Bible. The people who stood for God all the time, didn't sin, turned away from sin. The devil got them. I forgot what story it is, what book of the Bible it is, but it's a story in the Bible where this boy, his father used to tell him all the time, like, don't succumb to like women. Like, don't go towards women unless you're married. Okay, so my stories had came, but basically, long story short, in the Bible, in the book, the daddy used to tell the boy, like, don't succumb to women, like, don't lean into that sin. And he was so strong, the boy was so strong, but there was this woman who came out, and what he was doing on outside the town, nobody knows, but this woman came out. So yeah, guys, I cut off again, but hopefully this time I have enough storage to finish the video. Long story short, in the story, it's just saying to not, don't go and do sin. But the point of the story was that even the devil can use God's strongest soldiers and bring them down to sin. So that was literally the point of the story. I'm gonna have to find it and I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the screen so y'all can go read it for yourself. Thank you. I got it in my pop-up shop.
So you sell these?
I'm gonna start cups like that.
You bought this?
I bought it, yeah.
From a vendor?
Yeah. So I make, I make cups,
Yeah.
but like I want to start getting cups like this, but this is a certain type of Like you have to do this a certain type of way. And right now the funds to do that is not there yet.
Yeah.
So if y'all seen this video and want to go cop some merch, go buy some. This is one of my shirts right here. Go buy some.
Wait.
Anything else you want to add from church?
Jesus coming back in a quick and a hurry and a twinkling of an eye. No man know the hour, time of the day. So get your affairs in order and get yourself together.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get ready. You already ready. And build your relationship with Christ, because that's all that matters.
Facts. Stay ready so you never gotta get ready.
Period.
Also,
People afros be looking so cute.
they do, and then
Mine's
you
one
look at
looks
mine.
so ghetto.
Right, then look
No,
at mine.
yours
it's
is
just-
cute too.
I like it when it's like this.
My stuff one looks so ghetto. Like you have curls. Hers is a nice like
Shape.
yeah.
It's a nice shape.
My stuff won't just be bushy.
I can't wait till I can put it in like a actual ponytail holder. Cause I used to do that. I used to put it in a holder and then it'd be tied on to where it just flop out. But right now it's a shoestring.
It's cute though.
Thanks. So anyways, yeah guys, that's really all that we had to say. Church was really good today. She dropped a lot of gems. I should have recorded some, but if we're being honest, I low-key forgot that it was Sunday. Like I knew it was Sunday, but I forgot that it was Sunday that I had to record. So you know, but it is what it is. Sometimes life of a content creator, that happens.
You know.
But the thing is, I remember it and I'm staying consistent.
Period.
That's all that matters. Same thing with Christ. As long as you remember him and know that he is your Lord and your Savior,
Stay consistent.
then you can get in the kingdom of heaven.
And also talk about she's like you don't need anything. You talk about it.
Wait, what
Like
part?
you don't need to like stop doing anything before like you can come into.
You talking about when she was talking about come as you are?
Yeah.
That's another thing. 'Cause we was low-key talking about this when the camera cut off. But in church today, she was saying that people can come to church. You don't have to be ready in order to come to church. Like, if you live in your life in sin, come to church anyways. Because eventually the Holy Spirit gonna hit you in the heart so hard that you're not even gonna want to live in sin no more. So an example of that would be like, give me an example. Because I got one in my head, but I don't want to say that.
Like say you're in college and you be drinking all the time.
That's a good one.
And you was drinking right before you was drinking Saturday night, but you feel like, oh, like I'm not ready to come to Christ, to give my life to Christ because I'm not done partying and I'm not, you know, I'm still having fun.
Right. And you don't have to wait for that.
Yeah.
Because when you come to church, God gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
get back here.
The
You know
word
what
is
you're
gonna
supposed to do.
transform you.
And you know what's crazy, because in my life, like the sin that I used to live in my BC days, if you know, you know. But the sin that I used to live in my BC days, it's like in my mind, I always knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you always know when something is wrong and you shouldn't be doing, but yet you do it anyways. And we do it anyways because we live in a worldly world.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of Satan, is to get us to stay in this worldly world and not even think about Jesus.
Yeah.
But here's the gag. When he come back and you hear them trumpets blow, and you not on the first train out of here, you gon'
This is for becoming. Even in the fever, baby, cry and get to running. And tell her that you better get your